Hello, everyone. We are back, and it's season 8. Yay, season 8, man. We are the longest running LGBTQ talk show in local history, and we are going on strong, and we keep marching on, chatting with amazing, talented, wonderful individuals, creative people, artists from all kinds of arts, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying the show and you continue on the journey with us this year. First, I want to thank the community. You guys are really a wonderful community. I have been working in the community for 33 years in media, and I just love this community, our queer community. There's a lot of talent, there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of spirit, there's a lot of love, and I appreciate you and I thank you. And to our friends and allies, I thank you as well. And our viewers, our audience, you are an awesome audience. We can't do it without you. So thank you. And last season, the last episode, we did a variety show just as an additional episode to the season. I hope you watched it and I hope you enjoyed it. So let's see what this year comes up. I don't know, but we're going to be talking to a lot of wonderful people, maybe doing some crazy things, maybe doing another variety show. Who knows? With that, let's jump on the episode. Actually, first, say hello to my little co-host, Mr. Cowboy Gyllenhaal Elhashem. He's been such a wonderful pup this over summer, and we went on a little cottage trip, and it was fantastic, and he got to learn nature, so he's a good boy. All right, the episode. Mars Roberge is a Canadian-American dual citizen filmmaker. Born in Toronto, living in LA, a film production graduate of York University. He is a multi-award winning director, producer, screenwriter, and editor. So let's get to meet him. Welcome to On the Couch, Mars.
Hey, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. How is LA? You're in LA today?
I'm in Los Angeles, yes.
How is it today?
You know, it's always hot during the day, but I've been going to movie screenings at night, and I have to wear a jacket or like a long sleeve shirt. So
it's easier at night.
It changes between like 20 and 30 degrees every day, like from the beginning of the day to the end.
Okay, cool. We're going to chat a bit, take a break, and come back to talk about your work. But two things I want to go over in this first segment. UK press has called you the leader of the Hollywood movement of new underground filmmakers in Hollywood. I would love for you to tell our viewers, to hear from you, what does that mean, the word? In which way are you leading? And other filmmakers who are impacting that movement. Let's start with that.
Okay, so Hollywood was a term come up by a musician named Bruno Wizard from this famous punk band called the Homosexuals. Okay. And he introduced my second film, Scumbag, to the UK, presenting it at a screening. And on stage, he announced, he said, "Hollywood is here, Hollywood, all hail Hollywood," you know? And I like it because the version that he came up with, which I agree with, was "To hell with Hollywood, we're doing things our way."
Oh, hell. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, you know, I moved to Los Angeles 10 years ago, and I lived in New York for 10 years before that. And I'm originally from Scarborough, Toronto. Cool. You know, there wasn't a lot of independent filmmaking here, and the stuff that I saw, it was everybody following the rules to a T, pretending to be these big budget movies, wanting to be the next Star Wars. And, you know, it was, you know, there's a lot of unfortunate failures when they're spending that kind of money on their first films. Me, I went in like a graffiti artist and said, okay, I need lookout people when we film. We're going to put punk musicians. I don't care if IMDb says they're a big name or not. I don't follow any kind of systems.
Right.
To hell with the system. We're doing it our way.
Right.
And we want to make movies that are cool, doing it with cool people. I don't care about the star power of a Hollywood actor that's been in 180 movies. I want the cool guy that's cool in general and to be part of it. And that's kind of how this came about. And I'd love to say there's 100 other Hollywood filmmakers, but
there isn't.
I don't know. You know, there's only a few people I know kind of doing what I'm doing out here, but there's not too many. You know, I take I'm more in tune with the graffiti artist on how I make my movies, and because of it, yeah.
We like that. Is it more queer filmmakers doing that, or is it just everybody?
Well, I think you have to have an open mind. So like me, I'm a straight guy, but my sister, all her friends growing up were gay, so they were all my mentors. Were these gay punks from Toronto, and you know, when I moved, I played in the glam rock circuit of Queen Street with tons of makeup. I ended up in New York, and I had more makeup than most of the drag queens. So I got hired at Patricia Field because they assumed I was a hustler, and I was good at selling clothes because I was a telemarketer. And I've always gone through life where I accept people if they accept me. So most of my friends in life, like my best man was a gay black man at my weddings. They've always, you know, I was a DJ in Toronto in the goth scene, and you know, it was very open to the gay community. So I've always considered myself kind of on the edge, and for a long time.
See, these are the people that I call queer. Queer to me encompasses anybody who doesn't fit the norm.
Yeah, and back when I was growing up in Toronto, we were called freaks, and that included gay people and goths and everything. And that's kind of how I've been.
And these are my people. I love it. Cool.
So I'll have a lot of drag queens in my films, and it's not like, oh, I wanted to put a drag queen in to shock people. It's like, no, I put them in because they're human beings and they're my friends. You know, that's all. There's no other real reason for it. You know, yeah.
That's cool. You're also responsible for launching a new film genre in 2016 called Rocktopia. Explain that to me.
That's correct. So, you know, I started out as a music video editor for Black Walk Productions in Toronto, where all I did was I edited so many music videos all the time, and music's been part of my life, being a DJ and playing in bands, that I incorporate music into my movies. There's usually like singing and stuff, but it's not a musical. And I had this debate with people. They're like, you either are a musical or you're not. You can't do that. That's wrong. So I'm like, all right, well, this is the time and age where you got to be kind of pigeonholed into something. So I just gave it a name. And I'm like, well, this is a Rocktopia movie. And a Rocktopia movie is yeah, it's a movie where the protagonist has to struggle, and the only way he can get out of the struggle is to rock out at some point, because it's the only way to relieve stress. So that's it. And then I made so many rules. It came about when I made my second feature film, Scumbag, which was like a punk comedy movie, and it came about where I'm like, okay, I know Harmony Korine had his dogma doctrine of all the rules. Yeah, I think they had to wear lab coats and stuff to make these kind of movies. For me, it was like, okay, if you're going to make a Rocktopia film, you have to have a cast of over 200 people. There has to be.
They started writing the rules.
Yeah, there has to be musicians that play characters that are opposite of who they are in real life. So I had like Keith Morris from the Circle Jerks playing a nerdy parent and complaining about noise and stuff. And then like the films are handheld and you know, minimal.
Reminds me of the edgy work of John Waters when he first started, sort of thing. No?
Yeah, I get compared to him a lot, and it's weird because I'm not
of that. Yeah,
I'm not trying to, and like I like John Waters as a person. I can't say I'm a diehard John Waters fan, but I respect what he does. Okay. I say that because my favorite John Waters film is Pecker, and I don't think that would fit the norm of anybody that's a John Waters.
I love Pecker, actually.
Yeah, but You know, we actually know a lot of the same people. Like
You
my
must.
first
That's what I'm
documentary.
thinking. You must have crossed paths at some point.
Yeah, I'd like to get him in one of my films, but you
That'd be
know,
awesome. I'm
it's like,
a fan of John Waters. I've just said.
yeah, I think
I've
he's a very cool guy.
we've had him on one of our magazines, but I've been dying to get him on the show. But he's not easy to get to get on the show.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a little break, and we'll come back and talk a lot more about your work. So we'll be right back, everyone. Don't go anywhere. And we are back with Mars, and we're chatting about movies and Hollywood and lots of things. So I'm going to start. We are specifically have you on the episode because you have a big premiere coming up. If you're watching the show after the premiere, then we just had a premiere of a movie called Mr. Sister, and I really loved your when my editor sent me the trailer. I said, "Yeah, I want to talk to this guy." So tell us more about this movie.
Okay, so Mr. Sister is a film about a suicidal man from Milwaukee who is given a second chance in life, working as a straight drag queen nun insulting MC at a restaurant where he has to learn the courage from the LGBTQ community to face his inner demons from his past, gain the courage to be a glam rock singer, and gain the courage to pursue a relationship with a single tap dancing mom.
Wow, that's a nice layered story.
Yeah, you know,
So
it's
when did you film it? How was the filming? Who's in it? What more can you tell me?
sure. We filmed in New York City over 12 days, right up to the day before the pandemic lockdown.
Okay, so you did it
And
before. Cool.
right up to it. Like we were when we had to fly back to Los Angeles, it felt like
We're gonna
escape
close
from New
tomorrow.
York.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we were starting to kind of hear the what this was.
Lockdowns, yeah.
Yeah, and you know the film features some of the made a documentary called The Little House That Could back in 2013 about Patricia Field and her gang of entourage, and some of the actors are from there, like Her Royal Highness Princess Deandra, who's like one of the most famous Black drag queens of New York of all time.
Yeah.
Giselle Paulo, famous nightclub persona from Brazil, who lives in New York and does stuff in London as well. There's a great movie on Gazelle called The Love Issue. And then Deborah Hayden from my film Scumbag is in it. James Jack Busa, he's the singer for a band called Uni with Charlotte Kemp Mule, who is the girlfriend of Sean Lennon. They have a project together. And Jack's the lead actor. And then I have Jim Sclavunos making his debut. He's the percussionist of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. So that's our main cast.
Very cool. You just had, by the time they watched the show, you've had your world premiere. And
yeah, we had our world premiere at the 24th.
You've got a New York one?
Yeah, we had our world premiere at the Dances with Films at the TCL Chinese Theater, aka Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
Okay.
And then New York City, if this is before or after, that's on September 30th at Winter Film Awards.
Okay.
Winter Film Awards International Film Festival at Cinema Village, which is one of the oldest movie theaters in New York. It's on 12th Street at 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday, September the 30th. And then we're having our Canadian premiere at Review Cinema, which I was told is the oldest cinema in Toronto.
You're doing it at the Review. Nice.
Yeah, 400 Roncesvalles on
good work.
October the 9th. at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Right now, as we're doing this interview, it can only be half capacity, and you need to show your proof of vaccination to enter the theater. But you know, we might be full capacity by the time of the screening.
Yeah, I think there's I think people like bars and clubs are expecting that the capacity might change once the passports go forward, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also, you can only buy tickets online. We're not selling tickets at the door, so just go to Eventbrite and look up the Canadian premiere of Mr. Sister. That's where you can get tickets.
Check it up online and check out capacity and rules in your area to make sure that you're in there. And with that, we got a little treat for you. We're going to show the trailer that I fell in love with and had and invited Mars to the show. So let's check that out, and we'll be right back.
Hey, it's me. I'm in New York. Probably not for long.
Bitch, I can't.
To make it in New York City, first you gotta be a man to be a woman.
Somebody want to tell me what the hell is that? Why is there a tired drag queen dressed like a nun on my runway? Baby, you straight?
Yeah. I don't want anybody recognizing me.
This has been one weird night.
Who are you supposed to be? Mr. Sister?
That's Mr. Sister. Who we got over here at the bar? Oh, fresh meat. Hi, sweetie.
You're like a straight drag queen. Is there like a name? Is this like a genre or something?
Well, my friend Jasmine just calls me weird.
Did anybody ever tell you your ass looks like 200 pounds of chewed up bubble gum?
I think it's pretty punk rock.
I own this place. I saw what you did up there.
I don't actually work here. I house at a homeless home where you should live.
Oh, this hole. Come here. Come here.
That's gonna cost a bitch.
OMG, you were amazing. I want you to come back and do it again.
You want me to come back here and get drunk and high and insult people?
$200 cash a night, 300 on the weekends. Sound all right?
I love New York.
The customer is always wrong. You're in charge. And little patty pussies and kinky straights from New Jersey are at the bottom of the food chain.
We swing. I have a little money, not that much, but I'm hot for a nun with a, schlong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, I mean, I'll do anything in bed. She's like a porn star. In fact, she is a porn star. So what do you say we take a path train to my heart?
I wish I had your courage. You're like steel out there.
Yeah, my dad always said I'd make a really great mean nun one day.
Oh, shoot. I gotta get going, but it was really nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you too, Marie. I'll be keeping an eye on you, Marie.
I'm just trying to earn a living like everybody else, Get my mother out of jail, get my father that sex change operation he's always wanted, and get my kid brother Mikey that great crystal glass.
Okay, so that was the trailer, everyone, and hope you enjoyed it. It's lovely, right? We're gonna get back to talking to Mars. You mentioned Scumbag, your movie from 2017. Tell me a little bit more about the movie, so we can go back and check it out.
Yeah, so that movie, we had a world premiere at the 46th International Festival of Rotterdam, playing back to back with Moonlight right before they won their Academy Award.
Nice.
And it's people say it's an offensive punk comedy, anti-PC, but it's actually a true story. It's actually a true story I lived through of this awful telemarketing company that was behind City TV in Toronto. That's no longer. It was I think the RCMP took it down for fraud. I just needed a job, and it was a movie about a guy that needs a job that's going to cost him his life. So this guy named Phil gets a job at a telemarketing company, and all the crazy people around him end up making him go crazy over time, and he just tries to keep up with it.
That's something I would watch. Where can we find it?
That film is available in I don't know if it's across the border, but I know in America, hopefully for North America, it's on most streaming platforms like Fandango, Tubi TV.
Is there like a DVD? Like, can you get a DVD on Amazon or anything? No.
No, it's on a lot of platforms like Fandango, iTunes, Amazon.
The fan-based. websites?
So I think you can see it for free on Amazon Prime or on Tubi.tv, you know, and it's available in the UK in theaters at this thing called R Screen. You go to rscreen.com. It's cinema by demand, where you can, it's like organizing a birthday party. You say, I want to see Scumbag at the Piccadilly Circus View Cinema on Thursday, September the 12th. And if you get 20 of your friends to buy tickets in advance, then it happens.
Get to see it. Wow.
And if not, then you get refunded.
That's in the UK?
That's in the UK.
We want something like that in Canada, people. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to a couple of other Little House That Could. That's a documentary, feature documentary. You mentioned it.
Yeah, it's a movie where I followed Patricia Field and her gang of like club kids and drag queens over the course of about 7 years in New York. Wow, it's also a store that I worked at. I was a stylist, and I walked, you know, as a straight guy, I walked balls for the House of Field in Harlem and stuff. So all the stuff you see on the show Pose, I actually was living through a lot of that firsthand. And I decided I need to make a movie about this. And you know, out of love and respect for everybody involved. And, you know, we had a world premiere at Frameline in 2013, which is the oldest gay film festival in the world out of San Francisco. Yeah. And it's still playing. It opened up the Lower East Side Festival of the Arts this year in New York. So it's like, it has an endless life, and you know, it's gone on to raise money for AIDS awareness in Brazil.
Nice. Very nice. It does. Well, lots of movies to check out from Mars. Oh yes.
By the way, you can see that film for free. Anybody, it's on a platform out of Toronto. There's this great film platform called Mainstream Media Unplugged. msmu.me/play/1080. Use Chrome. You can watch the film for free.
I definitely wanted to go check that out. That's gonna be the easiest to find right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. All right. You're not just a filmmaker. You exhibited alongside Keith Haring, Lincoln Townley, and Grace Jones at galleries in Beverly Hills, Harlem, and Tokyo. Tell us about that.
So how that works is, you know, the Little House That Could, it played Kashama Theater. So like theater, like Kashama, it's a gallery in Harlem. Galleries approach me and they want to see my work sometimes. So,
I thought he exhibited art.
So how it worked is Eric Ragan, who is my line producer and second unit DP, he shot a lot of stills for Scumbag, and the stills made it onto the walls of that famous gallery showing with Grace Jones and that. And then I did a multimedia installation with Amanda Lepore and Peter Murphy for stuff that I shot that didn't make it into my films. Okay. That was there. So, and then
art in a way.
Yeah, and then, you know, they showed my film alongside Keith Haring at Keith Haring's actual gallery in Japan as part of his exhibit.
Wow.
And Patricia Field presented it. So, nice. You know, a bit of multimedia everywhere. Nice. And, you know, I always have respect for art galleries. Yeah, it's fun to show that them.
That's very cool to cross the two disciplines, film and exhibits. And when you're not making films, you moonlight as a successful DJ.
Yeah, my DJ name's been DJ Mars. You know, I started off as like a goth DJ in Toronto, and then was like a DJ for like, you know, the club kids and the fetish scenes and stuff in New York, doing the main room of the Limelight and Webster Hall. And so then I got to play house music with people like Junior Vasquez and Eric Murillo.
Wow.
So I moved up the ranks to as high as it can be without being a superstar DJ. I was the one who played with all of them.
With all of them. Cool. Well, I guess you kind of said a little bit about what I was going to ask you. What's your style? What should people expect when they're on your dance floor? And why do you do it?
So I'm one of the few DJs that can actually play almost every kind of music, and I push myself technically now. So when I spin, you know, what I like is I'm big into like funky house and stuff, but if they want me to play hard and industrial and that, I can do that too. I learned by going to Super DJ Dimitri from Delight's house all the time, and he you know, he was probably the best DJ I ever knew, but he had turntables in his house and they're always playing as if he lives in a nightclub, and he would freak out if there's silence. And these guys have been practicing forever. So I learned from like just hanging out in houses like that. But I've been a DJ since 1991, and you know, I've gone back to my roots where I'm trying to only spin vinyl now, and I started a record label with my wife called World Domination Records in July, and it's all vinyl. You can check it out at worlddomination.pictures slash you know, just go to worlddomination.pictures.
Okay, I'll check that out. I love music. All right, we are gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back and chat with Mars some more, so don't go anywhere.
حبيبي فينه قلبي الله يعينه على الهوى طول البعد غايب اغلى الحبايب وانا قلبي دايب وحبيبي زايد في العناد فينه حبيبي فينه قلبي الله يعينه على الهوى طول البعد. This is no ordinary love, no ordinary love. This is no ordinary love, no ordinary love. When you came my way, you brightened every day with your sweet smile.
And we are back, and we are having a lovely conversation with a really fantastic filmmaker. I'm really enjoying this conversation. Let's you're a Scarborough guy, so let's go back to that roots. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing. What kind of rebel teenager were you? That's what I'm expecting you would have been. And how did the journey start? How did you make it to Toronto and to, you know, friends with queer community and to New York kind of thing?
You know, I hold a pride and respect for Scarborough. Like, I want to make a movie about it one day because to me, it's like the Detroit of Canada, you know, it's like, and there's something about that, you know, and so there's beautiful sections and there's niceness, but there's also like, you know, there's a poor section and they both blend. Like there's no walls between the worlds. So it was a little bit rough. And I found that if I wanted to survive, you know, especially in my teen years, the weirder I looked, the more punk I looked, and the more I hurt myself as a skateboarder, less people would bother me. I became kind of like a clown for that. Yeah, Midland and Finch was my hangout, and I hung out with skaters, and we called ourselves the Scarborough Thrash Society, and we used to graffiti it everywhere. And you know, it was a mix, kind of like the whole like outsider thing. It was a mix of freaks with skateboarders and punk kids and people that just didn't fit in, and we would all hang out, you know. But you know, looking back now, you know, like it made me for who I am. Like, I put it this way, I had a meeting a couple of weeks ago in South Central with Freeway Rick Ross, who's going to produce my next film. How could anybody be in a situation like that and come out with a producer? And I think I owe it to Scarborough. It's like, that's no different than my friends growing up in Scarborough, you know. It's like the same.
Very nice, remembering your roots. I'm proud of you. Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, and then when did you move to how long were you working in Toronto before you made the move to New York and then LA?
I was 28 when I moved to New York, and then, you know, so I left around 2000. In 2000, I've been away for 20 years.
So you DJ'd and did some work here before starting to make your move?
I was DJing and working in films for 10 years before I moved to New York, and then I kind of stopped the film stuff for a while and just was a wardrobe stylist working out at Patricia Field's store, and then you know, came to LA and got fully back into the film thing, and
there you go. Family life. You said you're married.
I'm married, happily married. Deborah Hayden, aka Deborah Roberge. She's in most of my films. She was an actress before we were together, and she's tap dancer and singer, and she plays the Marie character in.
Is she in Mr. Sister?
Yeah, she plays the showgirl Marie character in Mr. Sister.
I'll check her out when we watch the movie.
And she has a project called Skunk in the Roses, which is like her dance project. It's kind of like Bjork meets Delight kind of music,
nice.
and yeah, she's getting ready to start doing shows. She has a music video for Sad Sad Vampire. In fact, the Toronto electronic musician named Din, a gay artist who used to play keyboards in Digital Poodle, just did a bunch of remixes for her. That's coming out as a single.
Is it more exciting to be with someone who you guys both sound very creative? Does that create a competition or does that create a synergy?
You know, I have been in relationships in the past where it felt like competitions, but for us, we kind of do the same thing, but not really. We're kind of doing different stuff. Like I'll even help her with her beats and she'll help me with my films. Then she'll do ventriloquism with puppets and that. So it's kind of like, it's the first time where it really gels because we're not really doing the same thing, but what we're doing can help the other person,
Very
you
nice.
know?
Very nice. I'm gonna just ask you some just lovely questions. What brightens your day and inspires you when you see?
What brightens my day? My cats, for sure. I have a cat named Vision and a cat named Phoenix, and they're always
do. Yeah.
A couple years now, you know. And I grew up as a dog person, but since being in America, everywhere I've lived, there's been a cat. So now cats are part of my life. And yeah, they brighten up my day because they're just so happy to see me. And then, you know, meditation, or you know, if I hear about something good going on for somebody else, you know, sometimes I like that.
What makes you laugh? What's funny to you?
I like originality. Like I saw a film the other day. It was almost so bad, but the character, it was the person being themselves, and this character was just so awkwardly weird, and I could tell, I don't even think they're trying, and that was really funny to me because I was like, this is original. Like I want to know, I like original.
No, you got me curious. What's the movie?
You know, I can't remember. It was a short film. It played at Dances with Films. I wish I could remember, but
I love weird movies. I love film. I'm a huge film buff. I have like
it was a short, and I just remember this guy was, you know, he was just socially awkward, not the most attractive guy, but he had a really big ego. And he said, I like meeting people. I get drunk on the train, and then I can come up with anything, any lie I want to tell them, you know, and he would go up and start. And this is like his advice. And I couldn't tell if he's being serious or not, but it was just really funny to me. What I don't like is like that canned humor where it's like people take courses out here. No offense to the people that do, on how to be a comedian. I never understood that. You're either funny or you're not. And there's so many people that want to be a comedian because of what it gives them. Like they want to be on SNL or something. But I'm like, I think Richard Pryor said it best. He's like, if you're a comedian, it's because you're funny and people told you you're funny, and next thing you're on a stage and you're just being yourself. Like I think
I'm actually finding that surprise. I've never thought that comedy is something you can go to learn.
Well, in LA, they'll try to have you pay to do anything. Okay. You know, that's a big racket.
Music, yes, you can have a talent, but you need to sharpen it. You got to learn, you know, how to do film, even acting, yes. But comedy, yeah, you're right. Comedy is a natural thing.
And I think I really like original characters. Like when I meet people, like I'll base characters off these people or put them in my films because I'm like, wow, they are in their own world right now. And it's kind of fascinating to watch them in their own world. Like I met a guy just the other day that like, I think he had a whole 20-minute conversation with me where I didn't open my mouth once. And I just sat there going, this guy's really fascinating. I don't know what he's talking about, but he was starting the conversation before I even met him, you know, and it was like, it was interesting because it just brings me along for the ride, kind of like what I want to do with people with my films. So I get kind of fascinated by stuff like that. I find it humorous.
I love people like that. They're their own unique. I love all sorts of people. I think the more types of people you meet, the more exciting life is. Okay, so on the show, I mentioned to you before we started rolling, we finished the show with some very quick questions. Just answer whatever comes to mind first. Your horoscope.
I'm Sagittarius, but the interesting thing is I was told there was a new horoscope sign called Serpentine, and I'm actually that. So maybe all these years of following my horoscope
I'm
is a lie.
Sagittarius. I'm Sagittarius too. What's the other
Yeah, my birthday is November 30th, 1972.
Mine 27. So
Not
what,
19. Okay,
27.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
no,
you
no.
might
So
be that
what is
too.
the new? What's the new horoscope about?
I don't know what it's about. I forget what the symbol is, but it's called Serpentine. Some horoscope genius said that there's actually one extra sign, and it's this. And I remember reading about it a couple of years ago. It came out.
Very nice.
So,
your favorite time of the day?
Late. I used to be a night person, but now my favorite time of the day is right when I wake up, because I'm so confused. I don't know if I'm tired yet or not. And I'm usually excited about the day. It's the best time for emails. It's the best time to plan things. And yeah.
So early morning. Your favorite evening drink when you're done with the day? What do you tea, coffee, or drink?
Well, it's kind of scary, but I'm one of these people that drink coffee right till I pass out every night.
It doesn't affect me, so yes.
Probably not good, yeah. But I'm a big coffee person. I like chocolate, anything chocolate. If it's in a drink, I'll drink it.
Favorite color?
I grew up where my favorite color was black forever. Now, I couldn't tell you what my favorite color is, but I like to wear colors. Like I got this forever would have been black, but now it's like a purple background. I got a pink shirt. You know, I don't know. I don't want to just be black and white anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same. I had gray, black, and white when I was younger, and now I embrace colors. So
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Favorite season of the year?
And in California, we only have one season. You know? Yeah, so I don't even have a choice anymore. But in the past,
he likes the California season.
To me, my favorite time was the spring in New York. It lasts about 2 weeks, but it's a really beautiful time.
Is it? Nice.
And then it's hot as hell, or it's cold as hell. You know, like there's no in between.
A song you listen to frequently these days?
Well, I listen to all of Skunk and the Roses music all the time. Sad, Sad Vampire. I got this hit in my film, which is a cover of Brett Smiley's Space Ace by our singer Jack James Bruce and the Pies. It's an amazing song. And when I'm not doing that, I listen to I collect a lot of weird music, you know. And like I'm listening to somebody called Wagon Christ right now. It's an electronic musician, kind of like Aphex Twin. And what I like is all the music's completely different. So it goes from dub to, I've been listening to like French dub music, which is like reggae. There's a whole reggae scene coming out of France, sung in French, and they always have accordions in it. I'm kind of getting into that right now. I don't even know if it's a genre, but
fascinating.
I like that.
Any good books you're reading?
You know, it's funny because I finished reading the Keith Moon biography by Tony Fletcher, and you know, of course, my next thing was to approach him and say, okay, I want to make this as a movie. I got to go through a couple bigger people now to make that happen. I'm afraid to read books because then I need to make it into a movie. But I read my friend's book of plays, Doron Bromstein, who lives in Israel, and now I'm pitching it as a play to We Make Movies, and it's a contest where they give.
So we have to be careful to let you read a book because you'll suddenly want to turn it into a movie.
Yes. So basically, I read this guy's book, and then like I was offered to be in a pitch contest against hundreds of people,
cool.
And now I'm a finalist against 14 people mid-October. And if I win, then I'll be adapting this person's play about homeless people into a $25,000 movie being shot in New York in March. So, yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
What quirks do you have?
I don't know. What are my quirks? You know, one of the things that I can't stand, it's like my kryptonite. I probably shouldn't say this because if I have any enemies out there, they're gonna do this. But I can't stand watching people file their nails. To me, it's like filing your bones. It drives me crazy. It's worse than putting your nails on a blackboard. It totally freaks me out. I cannot. You can cut it, you can rip it off, whatever, but I can't see your nails getting filed.
Everybody has one of those. Me, I can't hear people crunch. Like if somebody's crunching a vegetable, it drives me nuts. That's
drives you crazy.
So yeah, what job would you be terrible at?
I am not really a people person.
Oh come on!
I'm not unless it's my thing in my company, my World Domination Pictures. Then I'm a people person.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time following up the brown nose ladder. You know, like I just have a hard time.
It can be retail or a waiter, probably.
I did retail and I was fine with it. Yeah, I actually liked it because when I do retail, I become like a character and I turn it on and it was I was able to do it. I actually had a good time with it. Waiter, I don't think I could do. I don't think I could be nice to everybody.
I know. I really feel for them because it's one of those jobs where you have to, no matter what's happening at home, you have to be smiling there. It's very hard to do all the time.
I think that country song, Take This Job and Shove It, must have been written by a waiter or something.
Most favorite film of all time?
You know, it's always been for me After Hours by Martin Scorsese because it's about the mysterious side of New York after hours. And it made me move there. It made me live it. It made me...
Seriously?
And I've never gotten sick of that movie. You know, I've never gotten sick of it.
Okay, cool. So, what dish do you cook that no one should miss?
I'll leave that. My wife does all the nice cooking, but I'll say I've gotten into making pasta, you know, and I'm a big fan of like overpriced sauce. So I'll try all these $12 sauces all the time, and I never get sick of it. And now I add all the spices afterwards and the cheese and that. And
that's the way.
You know, that would be my thing I would do. Otherwise, I'm a microwave magic kind of guy.
Go to his place for pasta. Apparently, he does well. Last question, and then we'll wrap up. Describe an ideal weekend to relax.
You're talking to a person that's worked from home during the whole pandemic. I'm still working there right now. So
I can't even answer my own question.
Like, yeah, it's you know, but. It's strange. Last night,
imagine if you have a weekend where you have nothing to do. What would you do?
Well, last night I wanted to hand out flyers for my film in West Hollywood in the gay section of Los Angeles, and it was like a 4-mile walk. And walking around LA, there's nobody out on the streets, and it was just really relaxing walking around that night. I could have been like in Agincourt or Forest Hills or Rosedale. Like it's been a while. I would have been like walking around Rosedale at 11 at night by yourself, and it was just peaceful.
That's actually relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived around Davisville and Eglinton, and that was my evening walk. Was just everybody is sleeping, and I would just go for a quiet walk. Yeah. Well. Thank you. It has been a pleasure. Any last words to the viewers, to the LGBT community, to your fans, whatever you want to say?
Yeah, just always believe in yourself. I'm living proof that if you put your mind to something, you can do it, and your following will find you. So don't conform to try to be somebody else's audience. You know, be true to what you are as an artist. And thanks, Antoine. You're an example of the longest running LGBTQ show in Canada. You know, congrats.
Thank you. Well, everyone, this has been a very nice episode to begin our 8th season with. So make sure to join us on Facebook at /join us on the couch, and be kind to yourself. Go do something lovely and pamper yourself today. I love you. Take care.